Excuses. Oh, hello and welcome to That's Football. Mark Goldbridge, England against Denmark, or Denmark against England, however you want to put it. But you really should do that because it's in Denmark, so it's Denmark against England. That's just the way it runs. I hope you're all doing very well. I'm very pleased to have you
Searching
all
for music
here.
for your next video?
How are
Then
you doing?
you
I don't
need to
want
check out
full
our
screen. Oh, piss off. Don't do that. I don't like that. I don't like theatre mode. Get rid of theatre mode. Default view. Even that doesn't look good to me. Yeah, I'm not happy about this. I don't like that. I don't care. I don't like it. I don't like that. England. That's the one. That's just the way it runs. I hope you're all doing very well. I'm very pleased to have giving me some weird view. I don't like it. Don't like it. Anyway, how are we all doing? Hello. Hello. How are we all doing? Sancho watch. England. Oh, Pickford in goal. What the bloody hell. Pickford's in goal again. That's his reach. That's his arms. That's his full arms. Pickford, Alexander-Arnold, Gomez, Cody, Dyer, Trippier. Could be a back three. Could be a back five. Sancho, Kane and Sterling up front with Rice and Phillips in the midfield. Calvin Phillips of Leeds making his debut. Declan Rice plays again. Cody and Gomez at the back with Eric Dyer. Trippier at left back. Alexander-Arnold, which is good. I mean, I would say should be Rice and Phillips with Grealish in front, says James Gunn. What's your thoughts on this England team? Thoughts on Grealish not starting again, says Salah Ahmed. I mean, I think Gareth Southgate's a really likeable guy. I don't think he's a high-level manager. I don't. And look, you know what? That people, Southgate himself might take offence to that, and it's for him to prove us wrong. But I tell you what, they could beat us tonight. They've got Delaney, they've got Poulsen, they've got Eriksson, they've got Braithwaite. They've got some decent players, Denmark, and they could beat us tonight. So it's going to be a lot better than the Iceland game, who just didn't really have the ability to cause us any problems. But I think James Rodriguez is a great signing for Everton. I'm happy to talk about that. Mark, have you seen the Duncan Castles tweet on Sancho, Fajan? Yes, I have. I'm going to do a video after this on the United stand, actually, but obviously the England game. I would love to have seen Grealish starting. I think it's a real shame that Jack Grealish isn't starting. But going back to my point, I do find Gareth Southgate quite limited. I mean, he's an ex-centre back. That's fine. But even as a Middlesbrough manager, I think there's a lot of talent in that England team, and I just don't think he as a coach really has shown me yet that he's got the capabilities of making the most of these players. Hey Mark, love your videos, man. You inspire me and your vids are amazing, says Ellery Cole. Thanks for the super chat. And hi, big fan of the channel. I'm an NUFC fan, Newcastle. What do you make of our transfers so far, and do you think we can possibly push top 10, says Jordan Walwick. So I think Jamal Lewis is going to be a good signing at left back. Certainly better than Danny Rose. You don't want him coming in your office telling you you're being unfair. And I think that Callum Wilson's a decent option. Fraser as well, I think, has gone there as well. So, I mean, I think it gives you an improvement. But, I mean, let's not diminish the top 10. Let's not diminish the top 10. You've definitely got Liverpool, City, Chelsea, United, top 4 for me. Arsenal, Spurs, Everton are good. Leicester are good. Wolves are good. That's top 9. And then you say Newcastle could get in there. Well, what about Sheffield United? I think we're almost at the point now where if Everton finish 7th, they've had a really good season. So it is interesting what could happen. Luke Shaw is a must for the next international break. Says I want to know James. Luke Shaw or Ben Chilwell. I mean, Trippier at left back. Tom McNamara says, what do you think about Calvin Phillips starting? I mean, I'm actually quite excited to see him starting. Coming into the Premier League with Leeds. Deserves his start. Let's see what he can do. Everton have signed Decore now. This is Kyle Barrett, Everton FC. Look, I just want to say this right now. Please subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. Premier League is back this weekend. We have got watch-alongs for you this weekend. Sky, it's been confirmed today that every Premier League game for September will be on TV. So every game is watchable. The biggest game I'm looking forward to this weekend is Everton against Tottenham. I called this weeks ago. Everton against Tottenham, watch-along, Sunday afternoon. Tottenham will want a good start. Everton, to me, are going to be the surprise package. I think this is an absolutely intriguing game. I'm so excited about it. I'm going to do Fulham and Arsenal, and we'll probably do Liverpool Leeds as well. But I'm so excited about Everton. I love James Rodriguez. He's my guilty pleasure. I think he's a player that maybe 3 or 4 years ago I would have took at United, but I think he's a really exciting player. I wouldn't want him at Manchester United now, and I don't think Arsenal fans would want him there. But if you're Everton, it's exactly the sort of player you sign if you're an Everton player, because you know what? What's wrong with Kieran Trippier? I know he's got a bloody bandage over his leg, but it looks like he's got eyeliner on as well and makeup. But yeah, he's very small as well, Trippier. Then again, he's stood next to 2 big men in Dyer and Pickford. But no, I think that I'm very excited to see what James Rodriguez can bring to the equation. And that I'm going to do that watch along on Sunday. So make sure you give us a watch. Share the video if you're watching. A whole new midfield for Everton. A whole new world. A whole new midfield anyway. I think that it's interesting what's happened. Alan, Rodriguez and Decore. It is interesting. I'm doing a United stand show after this, talking about the Sancho thing, because I think there's going to be more info coming in the next sort of hour or two. So I don't really want to talk about Sancho too much. Suffice to say, I'm Mr. 90%. I've always said, I've been saying for 4 months, I'm totally confident that we'll sign Jadon Sancho. I don't think there is many United fans that have expressed the confidence that I have consistently around this deal. So I'm quite relaxed about it. I really am. A few people saying, "Oh, what do you think about Troops leaving AFTV?" I've got to be honest, I was surprised. I haven't actually spoken to Robbie or anyone at AFT for quite a while, so I didn't know. I just saw the video and I thought, this is going to be one of them clickbait videos, isn't it? Where he's not really leaving. But he's off to New York. I've met him a few times. I mean, look, for what he's achieved from where he's come from, literally he was just a fan cammer to a very popular person on that channel. And I think that it's amazing. He's off to New York to do things with Barstool Sports. Fair play to him. Well done. If you had the opportunity to go and live in America, in New York, and they're probably going to pay him good money to do it, I think it's fantastic for him. But he's not really my cup of tea anyway, as an opinion. But he's a nice lad, so he's certainly better than the other one. Opinions on the midfield for me looks very defensive, says Agent Check. Well, I think we're playing a back 5 as well. So for me, it's Jadon Sancho watch. That's what we're here for tonight. We're here to watch Jadon Sancho, unless you're just here to watch England, in which case you're at the right place. But look, I'm looking forward to it. Just making sure that the Flex and KG show has finished. No, it's still going. Still going. They're saying that maybe Connor Cody's playing in the midfield. I mean, we'll have to see how this works with England tonight. But I'm looking forward to it. I think there is other football on. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I don't know how. I wish I could split screen, actually. Belgium, Iceland. Don't want to watch that. Denmark, England. I don't know where the other games are to watch. France are playing as well, aren't they? But for some reason, they're not on. That's a bit weird. That's a bit weird. That is. I would have liked to have kept an eye on those, but let me just start the timer because we are about to start kicking off here. I'm not about to start kicking the studio about. I mean, we're about to kick off with this game. Score predictions, everybody. It's hard to say because I think Denmark are going to be a better team than Iceland were. And I don't know what Denmark's result was. I don't know who the other team in the group is. It Belgium? What was the Denmark-Belgium score? A Blue Monster says that Martial's got ice in his veins. And Martial is starting. And this game is starting. So welcome everyone. Please share the video if you're watching. And subscribe if you are new. You're all very, very welcome. I'm going to figure out in a minute how to keep an eye on the other games. But in the meantime, bear with me. Sancho straight away there. A lot of people going 2-0. Let's see what I can do. I didn't watch Donny last night. I know a lot of people did, and oh right, I see what you mean. So it's the red button. There's quite a few games you could watch actually. France, Croatia. That's a crap connection for that. Why can't... I should be able to just split screen with this. That's rubbish. McTominay's not a centre-back. He looked exposed as a right centre-back and the games are on red button. Says, I want to know Jermaine Defoe. Yeah, I wanted to split screen a bit, but I don't know how it works. Press the red button, Mark, says Franklin. Yeah, I pressed it, but... yeah, it's a bit annoying that. A little bit annoying. Anyway, that's gone out and it's a throw into Denmark. 8-2 to Denmark, says Bew Weasel. Oh, I thought that was... I feels like there's something in my tea there. A bit of plastic or something. Ugh. Sweden are playing Portugal as well. Well, hopefully we'll get a good game. There's Calvin Phillips. Well in. See what he's all about. Looks a bit leggy to me there. But I'm interested to see what Calvin Phillips can do in the Premier League because he's got a good reputation, to be fair. And I think that... His reputation certainly precedes him. I don't really know that much about him. I've got to be honest. I'm not huge. I'm not. You know, I'm a little bit ignorant to him, to be honest. 24. He's a little bit older than I thought. 24 years of age. 5'10". Been at Leeds all his career. 5'10". Born in Leeds. Style of play. Yorkshire Pirlo. He's the Yorkshire Pirlo, apparently. He's very good defending. Good at covering his fullbacks. And he's very good at winning the ball back. He's been described as a linchpin. And plays mainly as a deep-lying midfielder. There you go. Everything you needed to know in Calvin Phillips. But there you go. Southgate picks a defensive approach to hit them on the counter with quality, says Salim Hussein. Well, he has got Sterling, Sancho and Kane in the front three. And Haunted Radio says, hi Mark, how was your day? I hope you're well. That's always a nice question and I hope everyone else has had a good day. I'm just really busy at the moment. I'm sort of glad there's a watch along tonight because I don't think I would have found time to do like FIFA or anything like that today. That'll be back tomorrow. But I'm very excited about the start of the Premier League. Like I was saying, I'm very excited about the start of the Premier League. I think a lot of people are getting a bit bogged down at the moment with the COVID-19 increase in the infection rate. But the way I understand it is we won't be going back into a lockdown. I don't think there's an appetite by the British government to go back to what we did in March. I think that, you know, isolation and, you know, restrictions will occur, but I think we've just got to try and find a way of living with it, haven't we? It was a different world then. We were all going to bloody football matches, Cheltenham, packed trains, etc. We should never go back to that sort of level of infection, but and football hopefully will continue fine. I think there's less pressure on the football now, isn't there? Because you know, we're not trying to complete a season. I heard that Tellez was going to Wolves. I also heard that Leeds were looking at Julian Draxler, which I think would be fantastic. I mean, look, I am a Manchester United fan, and you will support your clubs. But what I would also say is that I've always been a football fan. And, you know, my love for football, unlike some, and I think a lot of us are like this, I'm excited to watch games at the weekend and match of the day, and my team's not even playing. Because I love the start of a new season when there's lots of new players in the Premier League. I'm very proud of the Premier League. I'll never forget, I mean, a lot of you probably weren't even born, but I'll never forget the Premier League season after the '94 World Cup. And Spurs rolled into town with Dimitrescu, Petrescu, Klinsmann, and was it Popescu? I think they brought three Romanians. No, I think one of them went to Sheffield Wednesday, actually. I think Petrescu went to Sheffield Wednesday, and that was really exciting, and you know, that was sort of the first real influx of foreign players coming in, and Chelsea got Zola and Vialli, and I'm not a fan of Spurs or Chelsea, but it was just very exciting to see those sort of players coming through. So yeah. Apparently you just all got some music there. I don't know what. I know what it is now. It's the advert before this video. Adobe stock. I'll tell you what. Let me get it off. I was wondering what everyone was going on about in the live comments. I was like, what can possibly have played? I now realise what played. But a little bit of a better game than the Iceland game so far. And Pickford's quickly off his... that's something I wanted to talk about. Where do we all stand on Pickford? Because I genuinely do not understand why Pickford is playing for England over someone like Henderson, or even Pope. I just don't get it. It makes no difference to me. It makes no. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make. It's gone out for a throw in. So steady start in this game without anything major happening. Pickford can pick his nose, can't pick his nose, says Reyes, and think Eric Dyer is going to get rinsed at centre-back. Yeah, well, tactically, it looks like England are playing with a back five. I mean, I don't understand why Kieran Trippier is suddenly a left-back. I've never known him to be a left-back. I mean, I've not followed his career with any great interest. Hardly any interest, if I'm honest, but I've got no idea why he's playing at a left-back. I think Gareth Southgate dresses well. But tactically... I don't know. Abdullah says maybe Pickford gets picked because of he's better at passing. And Finley, I'm annoyed that Jack Grealish isn't starting, if I'm honest with you. And Sacco says that Pickford's got the arms the size of the dragon representing the Peugeot emblem. I know what you mean. We're unlikely to sign Sancho. I don't think you understand the impact of losing matchday income, says Abby. You're talking to the wrong person. Don't talk to Mr. 90% about not signing Sancho. You won't get far. And Southgate took no left backs and then plays a right back there instead, says Isaiah. Nice little ball in out to the right hand side, and it's Trent. He should have given that much quicker to Sancho. That's poor. It looks a bit rusty, Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'm still able to join the Fantasy Premier League team, says TJ Head. Links in the video description, mate. Crack on. If anyone knows how to find out how many people are in our Fantasy Premier League, please do let me know, because I've been pushing the link, but I haven't looked at my team. I need to do it this week. Get your pen. FPL. That stands for Fantasy Premier League, not... FPL. I'm trying to think of some. I've got 2 letters. I've got 2 words done. Fix penis length. I don't need to do that. Anyway, Ollie is a better manager than GS Gareth Southgate, says Ryan Grant. Oh yes, I would say so. Denmark clear the corner here. Link in the video description, Abdullah, will take you straight through to the Fantasy Premier League team. But the code is QA9I0J. Basically, that's it. Iceland have scored against Belgium. Mark, what are you doing for the weekend and the door to door to the door to the door? Oh, I don't know. Jez has joined the Fantasy Premier League team. Has the match been good? Says Alfie MC. It's got a quicker pace than the Iceland game. Bloody hell, that Iceland game, all I could think about was my dinner. Rubbish. But Denmark are a better team than Iceland, or at least they've got some good... Here's Ericsson, actually. And... they've got better players. I'm a big fan of Poulsen. I like Poulsen. I'd like to see him in the Premier League. I know he's at Leipzig. Mark, if we sign Sancho, I'll buy the new United kit for all your kids with Sancho on the back. Real talk, says Abby. I don't need handouts, but thanks for the offer. What are your ideal transfer places to visit post-COVID? Transfer places? Well, I'd really like to visit the place where Jadon Sancho decided to come to United. I've never heard of that sort of thing. Can't wait to finish higher than you in the Fantasy Premier League, says Shitty Pro. Wait, I don't think you've got much chance with a name like Shitty Pro. I've just realised it's... Yeah, Shifty Pro. Sorry, Shifty Pro. Mate, if I do Fantasy Premier League properly, you're going to struggle. Belgium have equalised as well. Chance for Denmark here. Free kick. Quite central. Probably about 35 yards out. I don't think he'll shoot. I think he'll be dinking this to the back post. What you think of this player? I don't think it's a player. Rubbish free kick by Denmark. Outlast would be so funny, says XL. Look, if you want to watch me playing computer games, there is a link in the video description for that. Poulsen's hurt his ankle here. I don't quite know what happened. Oh, he fell over. Terrible free kick. Absolutely terrible. I would never play the game Sims 4, Kyle. Martial has scored. Bollocks. I ain't going to see it now, am I? Too slow. Too bloody slow. Don't go to a black screen. Oh, I can't see. No, he hasn't scored. It's 0-0. I've just been bantered. He hasn't scored at all. Tossers. The zebra shorts that United have got as part of their kit aren't actually going to be worn. They're just for purchase by Pratt's. United, the zebra top, unfortunately, will be worn, but it'll be worn with white shorts and white socks. I mean, have you seen somebody in that kit, that entire kit, the zebra shorts and the zebra socks? I mean, you've got to have something wrong with you to wear that kit. I'm sorry. I just... I don't know what the idea is. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Robert McCall, yes. Mason Greenwood is back in Manchester now. Flex didn't buy it, Gavin. He got sent it by the club. They asked me if I wanted one. I said, piss off. They didn't even offer it me, to be fair. Hi Mark, love your FIFA videos. It makes my day. Love from Dublin, says Gavin. Thank you very much. And Mark, remember the tweets of rivals if we sign Sancho? They've acted up all window. Mate, I've got all those tweets somewhere. I haven't really, but I'll find them. But to be honest with you, lovely cross from Trent, and Schmeichel gets hold of it. Of course, Schmeichel's Danish. That's why he's playing in goal. It would be ridiculous if he wasn't Danish. Where would you rank Duncan Castles as a source? I don't think he's... No, I don't think he's... For me, tier 2 at best, maybe tier 3. I mean, if Romano is tier 1 and, you know, and tier 2 is maybe... I wouldn't put Duncan Castles any better than Manchester Evening News, and to be honest, I'd probably... A lot of people, Manchester Evening News gets a lot of bad press, but that's because of the sheer volume of articles it puts out. But when it says Manchester Evening News understands this, that's when I will take notice of it, because I know that there's probably a well-sourced bit of information. But he's not, you know, he's not the Daily Star. I think he does get good information. But the one thing I noticed about Duncan Castles last summer was, a lot of our deals that we did, he jumped ridiculously early. It was almost like trying to be first when it wasn't even done. So he said Wan-Bissaka was done way before it was. I think he did the same with Harry Maguire. So he's good, but I think sometimes he will do it to try and be first, and maybe that's what he's doing this time. But, you know. Lovren scored a goal for Croatia against France. There we go. Belgium are not playing. Oh yeah. Please subscribe if you're new. Carter says Castles has been spot on all the way through with many of our deals. Well, actually he hasn't. As I said, he's not bad, but he's not been spot on with everything. I'm sure plenty of people can tell you stories about things that he's been wrong about. But, you know, it's hard to be right about everything. I think Romano is the only one who pretty much gets everything right. Marquino says Lovren scored, Croatia 1, France 0. And it's a good shot there, and it's just over the bar, and it's Doberg for Denmark. And from where he runs, it's poor defensively. He's got 3 players around him, Dyer and Cody. Poor defensively there. He runs pretty much from just inside his own half and gets a shot away that if he'd hit it well, that would have been 1-0 down. Callum Wilson to Newcastle, says the gaming train. I think he fits Newcastle like a glove, really. He's that sort of level of a striker, isn't he? I mean, am I right in thinking he's been called up to England? I mean, in the past, he's a decent striker. But I wouldn't say he's a top 7 or 8 striker, but I think he's definitely a decent Premier League striker. Denmark coming forward again here. Just hold on for a moment. Poor cross, but Eriksen's still got it in the box. Denmark definitely the better team so far, and Poulsen nearly getting a chance in the 6-yard box. Could be a future collector's item, that kit. When something's so hated, it gets a bit of a cult status. Happens a lot with vintage watches that I deal in, says Nick P. And any update on Sancho? Mark, love the comments, says Gabe. I'm going to do a video after this on the United stand. And have you seen Ted Lasso, Mark? It's about an American football coach who gets hired to coach a Premier League team. Jeff, George, no, I haven't. 6,361 teams in the United stand Premier League. You're going down, Goldbridge, says Scott Stevens. And Smalling should be in this squad, says Nand. I would put him in this squad, but I'm not the England captain or manager. Denmark better team so far. So, Kartik, there is this story going around from Duncan Castles that Manchester United will expedite the signing of Jadon Sancho straight after this game because Jadon Sancho has stayed at Dortmund to receive bonuses based on England appearances. So basically, if he makes so many England appearances, he gets a bonus after in the first year of the contract. So is that basically it? Can anyone add any more? I mean, to me it feels a little bit stretchy, but there may well be something in it. Mango says, if you were Michael Arteta, what would you do to get Arsenal to the top 4 next season? Well, I do think Arsenal will sign Partey or Aouar. I mean, they may buy both, but I do think Arsenal are lining that up. I think there's some quite considerable business to be done in the transfer window in the final couple of weeks of September and the first week of October. But Declan Rice reminds me a bit of Gareth Barry, Don't know why. This is better from England. Harry Kane. Oh, he's got a little stuck under the ball there, but bit of possession from England here. That is Sterling. They just look a little bit out of ideas, England. Like they're quite good at keeping the ball, but around the box it's a little bit clueless, and they're back on their own half now. We've had a few passes here, and then they're going to go long. It's a nice long ball though by Dyer, and Trent Alexander-Arnold into Sancho. And Littlefinger says, apparently Sancho has asked Man United to not put official a bid in so that he can receive $1.5 million in loyalty bonus from Dortmund. There you go. I think Grealish should have started as well, Kartik. Channel for the French game is the red button if you're on Sky, because I can flick onto it. I can also watch Sweden-Portugal. And if I was really depressed, I could watch Cyprus against Azerbaijan. How bad does your life have to be to watch Cyprus versus Azerbaijan on the red button when you could watch England, Denmark, Sweden-Portugal, France, Croatia? Unless you're from Cyprus or Azerbaijan. Why would you ever... I'm going to put it on for a laugh. Cyprus versus Azerbaijan. Oh my God. It's a classic. I flicked it off. Life's too short for that. Yeah, 1-0 to Croatia against France. Player down injured. And John David O'Hara says, I'm re-watching all of your Man United career modes from lockdown. So good. I think that is a series that you could just keep watching and watching, to be fair. Is there no risk that Sancho's going to be another Mkhitaryan, says Susmit? I wouldn't have thought so. I think when you're buying a 20-year-old who looks like one of the best players in the world for that age group, Mkhitaryan was never that profile. And Giannis says, I'm from Cyprus and I'm not even watching it. Says it all. Bernardo Silva went off injured for Portugal, by the way. If we've got any City fans, we won't. Is Tamari going to Everton on loan? Jake says that is potentially going to happen. I think that's a good deal for Everton. I know that Ancelotti was really desperate to get a centre-back in because they tried to get Gabriel. He'd love to get Koulibaly, but obviously Everton are not going to have the money to do that. So Tamori on loan would be a good deal for them, because I quite liked the look of Tamori. Probably not ready to play for a top 6 side yet, but a good loan for Everton. It's a good loan for Chelsea as well. I mean, bloody hell, Chelsea have bought enough players, but I know Chelsea fans will also be very proud of the young players they've got coming through, and I think they'd love someone like Tamori to go on loan to Everton and play games, because, that's absolutely fantastic. Callum Bolton, Cooking with Goldbridge is back again on Thursday. The recipe has been ordered and will be cooked. And And MUFC says, makes a lot of sense for United and Sancho to agree to say the agent fees are too high, so Sancho and his agent can receive loyalty and English bonuses. Might not be true, however, it makes sense. Everton could sign Smalling, says Siddharth. Well, is it Schwick, who's now gone from Roma to Leverkusen for about 27 million, which will free up the funds for Roma to buy Smalling. So I expect that to move quite quickly as well. But 25 minutes gone here, still 0-0. England have created next to nothing. Riaz, I think the next Nation Leagues games are the start of October. Harry Kane thought about hitting it. He thought about hitting it again. And that'll be a goal kick. No City fans. Thought everyone's welcome, says Mitchell. They are. There just aren't many of them. Sin Games, hope you're well as well. Do your stretchers, Mark, says Daniel Murray. I will do, thank you. Adama Traore, I don't think Adama Traore is going to leave Wolves. Jamie Vardy has retired from international duty, Tom Stainer, so no. Just saying, says Centurion, 100 points. Well, there you go, there's a City fan, well done. Is Lindelof not good enough to make the Swedish national team, says thanks Adam? I don't know. He played at the weekend. Bring on Grealish, says Builder DS. I hope we do see Grealish at some point. Schmeichel's got the ball again there. The problem with this England team is there's no number 10. So the creativity from midfield just isn't there. You're playing with a back five, two holding midfielders, and there's just zero creativity to get the ball to the front three. You can actually literally only play on the break. It's frustrating. Is Bruno still as important when he signed now that we've signed Van der Beek as competition, or is he possibly Sancho the key to United having a good season, says Salah Ahmed? Bruno Fernandes, I predicted on this channel on my Premier League predictions, will win Player of the Year. I think he's going to have a very good season. Nice little switch there, that's gone out. So we've had nearly half an hour and I don't think England have had a shot. Oh, Azerbaijan have scored now, says Jax Carter. I've missed it. Missed it. Bloody missed it. What's your thought on face masks, says Big Josh. I mean, I'm quite used to wearing them now, you know. What amazes me the most is that you go in some shops, and I'd say 95% of people are wearing face masks. But yesterday we went into this shop and we were upstairs and this old bloke of about 55 just walks up and he's prancing around like it's his birthday without a bloody mask on. And you think, what a prat. There's just people who are not adhering to it. So... But I don't mind doing it. I mean, I think if there's any evidence that it makes the spread of infection less, then I don't mind doing it. What are your thoughts on Everton's new midfield, says Jake? I think it looks quite good, mate. I think it looks quite good, but as I said in my prediction, I don't think Everton should expect to get in the top 6. I think if you can get 7th, that would be fantastic for you. It really would. Denmark dictating the play here. Some people who don't wear them have health issues. Oh, what a shot! What a shot that was. I think was it Braithwaite? Edge of the box, off his left foot. And I think Pickford might have had it covered, but he took it down well. Nice tackers. Good volley, just wide. Yeah, it was Braithwaite. Please subscribe if you're new. We're only 150 away from 223,000. So thanks everyone who's been tuning in. England are very, very shit at the moment. I've got to be fair and honest. We have to wear them at skill, says Big Josh. I'm getting a bit of a cold actually. Everyone in my household's just had a cold, which isn't a symptom of COVID. People think if you start sneezing you've got COVID now. I suppose you could be spreading it. Kieran McDonald says, to be honest, masks don't work. Well, I'd imagine they do work to a certain extent. They're not failure proof though, are they? Tyrone Williams says England are boring. This England setup is boring. I think Southgate's got a big identity problem. I know he's just living off what a stupid pass that was from Eric Dyer. Or was it Cody? He's living off that World Cup semi-final run. And, you know, that World Cup semi-final run, did we really play that well? Consistently? Were we really one of the best 4 teams in the world? Caleb says, I love your channel, watching from Kenya. Would you fancy travelling here to go on safari? As long as you don't feed me to the lions. Which, if I came in that full United kit, would probably happen. You don't remember me, do you? Poziban says, I think we're going to lose this game. Ollie's better than Southgate, says Alvin Blocks. Hello, Alvin. And what's your take on Danny Rose going to Mourinho for complaining, says Harish. I mean, I watched that last night on All or Nothing, and I just thought, I don't know whether it was staged or not, or maybe Danny Rose is like that. I mean, some of his comments have been a little bit odd in the past. But as I said, I don't know when I was saying it, but the Danny Rose comments, he basically goes into Mourinho and says it's not fair that he's not been picked. And Mourinho dealt with it quite well, maybe because the cameras were there. Because I would have said to him, mate, at the end of the day, I'm the manager. I don't think you're good enough. I think you're wrong. Oh well. See you later. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. So England massively overachieved at the last World Cup, says Dave 1105, and I agree with that. I mean, looking back on it, we had Dele Alli and Lingard as our midfield 3 with Henderson. I thought Henderson played well, but Dele Alli and Lingard. Oh, lovely little play here though. Cross comes in. Oh, TAA's crossing's a little bit off here. Sancho into Declan Rice. Best bit of play from England there, 35 minutes in. But TAA couldn't get the cross in. Ronaldinho or Neymar? I just prefer Ronaldinho. I think there's an open debate who's the better player, but I just think Ronaldinho was a fantastic player and just played with a smile on his face. Which you'd do with that face. I mean, let's be honest, if he hadn't been a professional footballer and a multimillionaire, he might not have been as popular with the ladies as he was. But what a great footballer. This is better by England. Sancho, nice little ball into Sterling. Goes for the byline. Oh, Denmark clear it. Bit better by England here. Couldn't have been much worse. Martial's performing well, says winner increase. 'Cause 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 Calvin Phillips. They're spreading the ball a lot better now. Here is Jadon Sancho. Lovely. The thing I like about Sancho is he's like a magnet. He's like a FIFA 2006 player. And if you've never played FIFA 2006, basically you just run and the ball sticks with you. And that's what Sancho's like. He's got such great close control, whatever direction he moves into. But England have moved the ball around a lot better in the last sort of 3 or 4 minutes. So let's hope it can continue. They can score a goal. Neymar doesn't belong on the same conversation as Ronaldinho, says Apex. Kylo, if you want the Fantasy Premier League code, the link is in the video description. It will just take you straight through to Fantasy Premier League, our league. I think this was asked on Twitter, but would you have the cameras and at our club for the season, or does it open us up to a whole world of banter? Oh, like an all or nothing? I don't think United would do it with Amazon because the money from Amazon is probably not enough for what United would want. But I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. I think all or nothing's been really interesting as a non-Spurs fan. I think as a Spurs fan, it must be great to watch. Oh, lovely turn by Eriksen away from Dyer there. And that's a good save by Pickford. It should have been 1-0. Dolberg. But Eriksen turning Dyer like a bottle of pop. Lid. Awful. That's just terrible by Eric Dyer. I mean, Eriksen's not even done a skill there. He's just literally turned him. That's basic. That's pub football defending by Eric Dyer. He's not a centre-back. He's a midfielder. He gets turned too easy. If you get turned as a centre-back like that, they're in on goal. If you get turned in the midfield, okay, you might be okay. But that's shocking, that is. Eriksen with the corner. And another corner, I think, here. Should have been 1-0. Dyer is Dyer, says Cameron. Almost 1-0. Mark, it's been way too long since we've had a PFA Player of the Year or young. Who do you think can win it next year in the United team, says Martial FC. Cleared away the corner. I predicted that Bruno's going to win it, so I'll stick with that. And St. Columbo says England have literally got a front three and that's it. Everyone else is defending. Yeah, I'd like to see Grealish coming on. I'd go to a back four. Why are you playing a back five against Denmark? I mean, it's like United playing a back five against Bournemouth. Like, why would you do it? You're just inviting pressure. Try and play on the front foot. Sagar says, do you trust what Phil Brown's saying? I do about the centre-back situation, yeah. Remember, it's only his opinion that we won't sign Sancho. I know I'm cute. I think I'm sexy. I got the girls. Thoughts on United's third kit? Shit, James Ryan, to be honest. I'm not going to be loyal to a kit. How's England playing? Not great. Denmark have been the better side. We're playing just too defensive. It's so defensive the way we're playing. Stroppy. More like a back seven, says Atty. And Sean says, how can you take the mick out of how Ronaldinho looks, but then cry when someone calls Luke Shaw fat? Mate, I think that's a very, very big difference. What I'm saying is that I think if I was a professional footballer on 300k and was one of the best players in the world, they'd be queuing up for me. When I pop down to the local Tesco, even the old grannies let me go first out of sympathy. So what I'm saying is that Ronaldinho, I'm not saying he's ugly, I'm just saying that, you know, he never bothered to fix his teeth, did he? And he still had loads of women around him, so that's obviously fame. I think Luke Shaw doesn't get called one of the best players in the world, he just gets called fat. So there's a very, very big difference. Doku is playing for Belgium, says Levy. And is Targay playing for France? Don't think he even got called up. 4 minutes to go to half time here. At half time, we're going to do some either ors again. We did it at the weekend. It was good fun. So you just give me 2 players or clubs or whatever, and we discuss what's better. So you could say, or you could do managers. You could say Southgate or Eddie Howe. You know, something like that. I'm doing a video on the United stand straight after this. Awesome, Aaron, about the latest on Jadon Sancho. So I don't want to really go too much into it because there's a few things to discuss on that. Rahul says, do you think Luke Shaw is a top 5 left back in the league? Easily. Absolutely easily. And anybody who thinks not is foolish. He's easily one of the top 5 left backs in the Premier League. Absolutely easily. I would say he's up there. Well, Robertson's number 1. I think Digne's another good one. So that's 2. Definitely Luke Shaw. That's 3. Man City's one's crap. Chelsea's one's crap. I do rate Tierney, but I'm not sure we've seen enough of him. But I'm happy to put him in. So that's 4. And then I don't really want to put Chilwell in there. I know Chelsea are really happy with him, but I don't actually think Chilwell's that good. I mean, I'm happy to put him in there, but there must be somebody better than him. And I'm not, I don't want to be elitist. I put Digne in there. I mean, Spurs haven't really got a good left back, have they? If you had to pick one of 2 for Man United, who would you go, King or Pookie? Says Salah Ahmed. Probably would go Josh King. Thoughts on Troop leaving? We spoke about it already. Martial FC. It's amazing, isn't it? Really. Best of luck to him. Zinchenko, I don't rate, to be honest with you. And do you think Messi will leave Barcelona in the summer 2021? If yes, which club will he go to? Also, thoughts on Ansu Fati choosing Spain and his debut? Says Oleg. Well, he scored on his debut. I think the Messi situation is really sad. I mean, I don't want to go into it too much because we've sort of moved on from it last week, haven't we? But it's really sad because he's played all his career at Barcelona, and to want to leave because of a lack of ambition by the club when you are the best player in the world, it must be really frustrating. So Thomas says Arteta or Solskjaer. Well, I'm going to say Solskjaer, but I think this season's going to be a big one for both. And Mount and Grealish should be playing instead of Phillips and Dyer, Mark. Well, Mount, yeah, you should be playing a back 4. I see what you mean. Good point by Evan Coughlin. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. Griezmann has scored for France, and it is an assist by Anthony Martial, apparently. Although I think that's a lie, because I've still got 1-0 here. Although, no, it is an assist by Martial. Brilliant. We're a little bit delayed there, so that worked. Magnificent. I can put a tweet out. That was good. There's a bit of a delay on my French game, so lovely little play. It still said 0-1. And now it's 1-1 in that game. Lovely bit of play by Martial, because it wasn't just an assist. He started it off, gave it to somebody else, got it back, and then gave the assist. So it was like he got the assist and the third phase assist as well. England with a free kick here just before half time. Trent Alexander-Arnold to whip it in. Whip. Looks like I'm going to do a bit of golf. I'm not. I hate it. I do hate golf. Basically, I don't like things I'm not very good at, and I'm rubbish at golf. I'm one of them people who swings at it and misses the ball. Very good assist, Hader had by Martial, yes. Right, can England get a shot on goal? I don't think we've had a shot on goal. Taibbi or Pickford, or Jesse Lingard or Josh King, says Salah Ahmed. Definitely take Lingard over Josh King. And that's it, it's half time. So we'll be doing a lot of either-ors at half time because there's very little for me to say about the England game. Suffice to say, Very defensive setup by Southgate. I don't think he's going to be winning many friends. Iceland were very, very poor against us, and we only won because they missed a penalty. And then tonight, Denmark have been way better than us. The setup is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous by England. And, you know, it means that people like... I'm just about quickly press the red button and go to Sweden versus Portugal, because there's delays on these games and it's still 0-0. I think Ronaldo's about to score a free kick. So this is great. Watch this. Because it still says 0-0 on the red button. So quickly press the red button. Go to Sweden versus Portugal if you're watching on Sky. And you're going to get to see a Ronaldo free kick. Watch this. Good distance out. Bit like the Beckham free kick against Greece. Exactly like the Beckham free kick against Greece. Absolutely world class. What a free kick by Ronaldo. Just watch this back. Look at it from behind. Magnificent, that is. That is superb. You know, Ronaldo always has that signature free kick, doesn't he, where he bounces through the back of the ball, but that's actually placed with a bit of curl. Sensational. But it's nothing happening here. Imagine back in the day asking Keane to wear that hideous third kit, says Mark Webster. Well, he did wear the grey kit. He did wear some shitty kits, to be honest. Steve Nicol doesn't rate Martial, so we should all listen to that bore. Yeah, I like the way you put that question as well, because he is a bore, you're right. So Martial assist and a Cristiano Ronaldo free kick. And a Martial goal as well. Off the post. Let's have a look at this. It's all going off. Yedder with the cross. Martial shoots. Hits the post. Hits the keeper. Goes in. Oh, it's all going on. This is fantastic. And it's half time in that one. So he's got a goal and an assist. They were 1-0 down and they go in 2-1 at half time. We've seen a brilliant Martial assist. We've seen a fantastic free kick from Ronaldo. And now we've seen Martial score a goal as well. So, lovely stuff. Unless you don't like Martial and Ronaldo. But obviously, as a United fan, I love them both. And good to see Martial doing that sort of thing for France. Because goal and an assist, Deschamps sit down. Anyway, let's focus on this for a minute. England crap, too defensive. And to be honest with you, Denmark should be a little bit disappointed that they've not taken advantage of a very poor England performance. Sancho and Sterling hardly able to get on the ball. And Harry Kane deprived of service yet again. I mean, the change they need to make at half time is to get Jack Grealish on. Or Mason Mount. So he'd probably go for Mount first. But goes down as an own goal for Martial. But I think we all know that that's a Martial goal, don't we? But doesn't really matter. Anyway, do some either-ors for me. I like this at half-time because there's very little to talk about for England. They need to get an attacking midfielder on. They need to stop playing with a back five and two centre defensive midfielders. It's a bloody disgrace. And we need to see a more attacking England side. This is why Ronaldo is better than Messi, because he can win with both Portugal and Juventus. I mean, look, I love Ronaldo. I've always said I'd take Ronaldo over Messi because he's got that United connection. But they're both unbelievable footballers. And the comparison is somewhat ridiculous, really, because they're not even similar in style. But they're both goal scorers. Ipswich or Norwich, who's the bigger club in your opinion, says Ben King. Well, Ben, being as you've done a £5 super chat, I'm going to say Ipswich. And the reason I'm going to say Ipswich is a lot of people will say Norwich, but if you know your football, then you should be saying Ipswich, because Ipswich under Bobby Robson were a fantastic team. I think you even won a UEFA Cup. So, to me, Ipswich are the bigger club. but a lot of people would say Norwich. Jeremy, gosh, you got to a quarter-final of the UEFA Cup. Well, I think I'm right in saying that Ipswich won it. Martial and Ronaldo are both scintillating right now. Shame Martial's goal will probably go down as an OG. England, on the other hand, not so good, says De Gea, is a div. And Rashford free kick versus Chelsea or Ronaldo free kick versus Portsmouth, says Carl Rayner. I mean, look, you know what? I would say that Ronaldo's free kick against Portsmouth was better because Rashford's was unbelievable, but Ronaldo's free kick just felt a little bit more deliberate. Rashford's moved around so much that I don't think he could do. See, I've seen Ronaldo do that again. We've not seen Rashford do that again. And that free, to be honest with you, actually, let me phrase it better. Rashford's free kick is better than the Portsmouth one that Ronaldo scored. But Rashford can't do that again because the ball moves in two different directions. And if he could do that again, we'd have seen it again. It was just one-off, really. He was trying to do it, but it's very hard to replicate. Whereas Ronaldo, his was just... And I think he could do it again. Jan Oblak, and has done it again. Jan Oblak or Alisson, says Jeff George. Easy. It's even Liverpool fans, I think, would say Oblak. I think Oblak's the best goalkeeper in the world. Rashford, yeah, we've done that one. Tellez or Reguilon, says Rogvi. Well, whoever signs for United, I suppose. I think. Come on, let's be honest. That's what United fans. That's what we're going to do. Chocolate hobnobs in a cup of tea, says Wayne L. Or what? Roy Keane or Gattuso. I loved Gattuso. Lee, but definitely Roy Keane. Pochettino or Koeman, says Shaka Phillips. Pochettino. Rodriguez or Ziyech, says Adam Larson. I think for consistency, you'd probably say Ziyech, but for talent, I think James Rodriguez. Whether he's got it left in him, I mean, look, I think James Rodriguez is a really interesting question that I would put to you. Do you think he's going to be a success for Everton, or do you think he'll flop? Because I think 70% of me would say he's going to flop. I want him to be a success. I really, really like him, but pretty much since the World Cup in... When was the last World Cup? 2014? Was that the one in Brazil? He's not really... for 6 years he's been very inconsistent. Xavi or Iniesta, says Red Baron. I really liked Iniesta. I preferred Iniesta, but it's a personal choice. Rashford or Pulisic? That's a great question, Jack Adams. I think on his day Rashford, but I'm biased. I would imagine Chelsea fans would say Pulisic. So I'd be interested to see what other fans would say on that. Giggs or Beckham? Imran, I think Giggs was the better talent, raw talent, but Beckham, I preferred Beckham. So heroes or celebrations, says Liam Dalciel. People will be like, what? Definitely celebrations to me. Talking about celebrations, please subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, we are getting very close to 223,000. In fact, we are only 45 subscribers away. So please subscribe if you are new. Bottom right hand corner. We have got watch-alongs for you at the weekend. I've got a really good video coming up for you as well on this channel. We've done Premier League predictions, but I've got another video coming up which I think you're going to really enjoy. Some sort of, probably won't be weekly, but it's going to be it's like a new series. I think you're going to quite like it. But watch-alongs will be coming back fast with the Premier League coming back, and we've got watch-alongs for you on Saturday and Sunday. My pick of the week, and I've been talking about it a long time, the game I'm looking forward to doing the most is Tottenham against Everton on Sunday at 4:30. Rodriguez should be playing in that one. Tottenham, Mourinho, he'll want a big season, so very, very excited to see that. Pochettino or Southgate for England manager, says Nathan Dowding. Well, I don't think Southgate's going anywhere. I mean, he's a yes man, and the one thing the English FA want is a yes man. So I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I think he's going to live off that FA Cup semi-final for a long time. I just don't think it's acceptable. I mean, imagine if Mourinho was the England manager and he'd come to bloody Denmark and played like that. People would go mad. It's not good enough. Best Barcelona front three, says Carl Rayner. At the moment or ever. I mean... MSN was pretty good, but I'm open to arguments with that one. Hi, Mark Nuno of Wolves or Brendan Rodgers of Leicester? I'd go Brendan Rodgers. I don't like Nuno's style of play, Jordan Such, to be honest. I think it's quite frustrating to watch. He's done a great job, but I do find his style of football a little bit negative. Sancho or Bale, says King Carnu. on ability, Bale, but at the moment, Sancho. And of course, Sancho's 20, so he could surpass Bale. But Bale's had the career, hasn't he? Sancho hasn't had the career yet. No creativity for England, says Killer Tomato. Declan Rice or Phillips, says Thomas Brown. I think Declan Rice is doing a good job for England, but there's no creativity in that midfield. So, what do you think about Italy, says Samuel Greco? They're building a good team. They're building a very good team. I'm excited to see where they go. Interested to see what they'll do in the Euros next year, actually. Chilwell or Tierney, says Josh Barney. Definitely Tierney. Look, I think Chelsea have done fantastic business this summer. But I said it even before I knew that Chelsea were going to get Chilwell. I don't get the hype around Chilwell. And a lot of Leicester fans would agree with me on this. In fact, I know a few Leicester fans who've said it. And they agree. They say, look, we're over the moon to get 50 million for him because defensively he's a bloody liability. Going forward, good. That goal he scored against Watford was stunning. But defensively, I think he's got a lot to work on. And that's quite interesting for Chelsea because I think Chelsea going forward are going to be very, very good this season. The problem is, are they going to be good at the back? And they need to stop losing games. 12 games they lost in the league last year. Mo Salah or Hazard, says Callan. I mean, I personally would say Salah, but everyone will call me an idiot for that. Tierney is a very good player, says St. Columbo. Saka or Billy Gilmore. Two very different players, Michael Donatello. Be honest, King, Depay or Zaha, says South Steves. That's good. Well, King's out. Get out. I think Zaha. Yeah, I think Zaha over Memphis, yeah. That's my initial sort of quick reaction. Which is what you meant to do on either or. England's team on paper compared to performance, says Aaron Maguire. To be honest, Aaron, I look at that England team and I think we all do. And I think we predict the outcome. It's a very negative England side. So it probably matches what we all feared. Have you eaten the delectable Indian dessert, gulab? And your all-time favourite dessert, says Praveen. I haven't. But favourite dessert? Oh, you know what? I do like a good dessert. But it's very childish. But my favourite dessert is probably the thing where you get loads of thing in the in a big glass. Not a Knickerbocker Glory, although it could be one of those things. But it's layered. So I'll have different ice creams, chunks of brownie, cream. I like an Eton Mess one as well, where it's cream and strawberries and everything like that. So I just like that sort of mixture. Van Dijk or Phil Jones? Oh, Lord Reptile, that's really hard. Lukaku or Raul Jimenez? Harry Power? I'd probably say Jimenez because he's just got more to his game. But people are going to say you're mad. Werner or Martial? Bruno or Havertz? I'm going with the United boys, Charlie Ham. Of course I am. Who are your top three to go down this season? Mine's Fulham, Villa and West Ham, says Jordan Such. What did I say on my Premier League prediction show? Can anyone remember? I know I said Fulham and West Brom. I think I said Leeds. I regret that. But I just couldn't. I think Fulham and West Brom definitely go down as a prediction. I mean, I can't say definitely because they might not. But they're my definite two predictions. The third team's very difficult to know. I mean, it could be Brighton, it could be West Ham, it could be Palace, it could be, could be Newcastle, it could be... But I just went with Leeds because they've just been promoted. Is Firmino overrated, says Klein Kampf. No. I think he's... I just think because he doesn't score loads of goals, people think he's no good. But what he brings to the team, and I've seen Martial do it for United sometimes, is invaluable. I'm Alan Partridge or The Office, says Ryan Robb, British version. To me, that's like Chinese or Indian takeaway. It depends what mood you're in. Like, if I want a Chinese, I'm going to say Chinese is better than an Indian takeaway. But if I'm in the mood for an Indian takeaway, I'm going to say it's better than Chinese. And I like I'm Alan Partridge and I like The Office. So I feel like watching The Office again. It's this time of year. I feel that the nights are closing in. We're approaching the autumn. It's my favourite time of the year between September and Christmas. And probably more specifically, my favourite time of the year is sort of this mid-September to sort of mid-November before all the crap Christmas panic starts. So yeah, they're good series to sort of watch again. But I've watched them so many times. But they're like a comfort blanket, aren't they? Hi Mark, would you rather have LVG another year or Mourinho another year if you had to choose one? Says Luxie. I think I would have gone with Van Gaal because I think with Mourinho he'd come to the end, hadn't he? But having said that, I wanted Van Gaal out for 6 months. It's a tough one that. I mean, I suppose you'd look at the squad. I'd probably keep. I don't know. Then you've got to look at the way we were playing. I mean, they both played bad football. They both lost the plot with the players and the fans, so it's hard. What is it with the overpricing and build-up of British talent, says Carl Rayner? I don't know. We've had it for a long time. Players are out on the pitch. Anyway, there's no changes for England. It's the same old. It's the same old. Let's kick it off, ref. Southgate's running out with a bottle of water. Probably had a wee. Has he washed his hands? Probably not. No, he'll have washed his hands. Gareth Southgate strikes me as the sort of person who probably washes his hand 3 times. So they're super clean. He's very defensive, you see, against germs and opposition football sides. Pep or Sir Alex? You're having a laugh. You're having an absolute laugh. Get out. Mark, do you think we are starting to see a second wave of coronavirus, says Jordan as such? I think we are, Jordan, but I don't expect or want a second massive lockdown. It hasn't worked, 1. And 2, I think we are accustomed to social distancing so that if people are told you've got to bloody social distance, otherwise we're all going back into a lockdown, then I think people will social distance. You know, I don't see any reason why football can't continue. Hopefully we can keep bars and restaurants and hospitality open as well. I think people are just going to have to be cleverer. I mean, the big increase in the UK at the moment is through young people. And some examples that have been put out is like bars and clubs that are just opening up and letting loads of people in to make money. Shut them down. Shut them down. Every pub I go into, social distancing's there. Anyway, second half is kicked off. Timer is up. And top 5 Premier League players ever. I'll tell you what, I'm going to ask you lot some questions now. You can help me on something here. Who is... Let me just make this sure I get this right. Who is Leeds' best player? For people who don't know anything about Leeds. Probably me. Who is Leeds' best player, do you think? So we'll start off with Leeds. Who is Leeds' best player in the Premier League? Coming into the Premier League. It can be bought or current player. And they haven't got Draxler yet. Is it Calvin Davies, said somebody there? Well, no. Who knows a lot about Leeds? Nice little ball over the top there. Sterling trips up. And the ref gives a foul against Sterling. Phillips. A lot of people are saying Phillips. Drilling S says Rodrigo. It's definitely not Rodri, Andreas. He plays for Man City. Now, some people are getting confused by saying Harry Kewell, James Milner, Rio Ferdinand. I mean, like in their current squad, who's their best player? So a lot of people are saying Calvin Phillips. A few people are saying Rodrigo. Mark Viduka. I love it. I love it. People just do not listen. It's not catchphrase. It's not say what you see. If you see it, say it. And it's not... yeah. So a lot of people saying Phillips there. West Brom. Who's West Brom's best player? Anybody know anything about West Brom? You know what I'm going to do. I'm scouting for information here on Fantasy Premier League. Ben White's been mentioned, a few people yet. Bielsa's not a player, he's a manager. Gordon Strachan. Denmark are still... England are playing with a little bit higher press in the second half. I've noticed that, but they're not playing any more impressive. I'm not doing it anymore. People are taking the piss in the live comments. They're talking about Cyril Regis, who probably is one of West Brom's best ever players. Rest in peace, but he doesn't play for West Brom anymore. Mateus Pereira, says John Large. Alright, here's a question for you then. Would you say that Mitrovic is Fulham's best player? Because I actually have seen a bit of Fulham. I saw them in the playoffs against Brentford. And my feeling is that... I think it was Mitrovic not the top scorer in the Championship as well last year? Odemwingie. Declan Rice. That should have gone in. I don't think Trent Alexander-Arnold looks match sharp, does he? It's better movement. Go on, that's got to go to Sterling. On the ground. Get it on the bloody ground. It's like playing FIFA Pro Clubs, this. I hate people who put the ball in the air. Play it on the bloody ground. If I'm sprinting. What do you think of 35 million for Fabio Silva? Says Philip Willis. I think it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on at Wolves. And football or accountancy, I want to take over, says Iron. I don't know what you're on about, mate. Alex Constana says 100% Mitrovic is their best player. Doesn't deserve to play for Fulham. Nice little ball. Oh, it's not. I thought he found Harry Kane there. Oh, Harry Kane! Would you rather England win the World Cup or United win the treble? Says Ernesto. Easy answer. And feel free to answer it yourselves. Easy answer. I would love Manchester United to win the treble over England winning a World Cup. And I don't care what anybody says. I've seen United win the treble, and so many people would say, well, if you've seen them win the treble, you must want to win the World Cup. Winning the World Cup would be really nice, but the older I get, I think if you'd asked me this when I was about 16, around the time of Euro 96, when I wasn't 16 then, but I would have said I want to see England win the World Cup, and I hadn't even seen United win a treble then. But having seen United win a treble, I want to see it again. Mark Goldbridge, can I have your opinion on Eden Hazard? In my opinion, I think he's overrated, says Ben King. I think that Eden Hazard on his day is world class, but I don't ever feel that he's had enough of those days. I mean, look, if Eden Hazard was... I said this. If Eden Hazard was the player he can be, then he would be doing it for Real Madrid consistently, and he doesn't. What's happened to Babakari Samari, says Nicholas. He's still at Lille, I think. And Camavinga's still at Rennes. Which is somewhat surprising, but maybe Real Madrid are trying to raise a bit of money to get him, because he won't be that expensive. I still think there's going to be deals done. Evening, Mark. What time is it? Says Jenks11010. It's 5 to 9 in the UK at night. Why didn't Aaron Wan-Bissaka get called up, says Max Clark? Because Southgate didn't want him. Simple as that. Chelsea to win the quadruple, says Get. I actually had a moment of worry last season where I think Arsenal fans had it as well, where I thought that Liverpool could win the treble. I don't actually think a team can do it. I don't. I think Man City could have done it. I think they had an opportunity where they were clearly the best team in the league and they blew it. I think Liverpool could have done it and they blew it. So I don't think we're going to... Well, never say never, because I said Liverpool wouldn't win a league again. And they did. So but I think winning the treble is very, very difficult. And I think it becomes harder in the modern game because teams are far more willing to rest players in league and FA Cup games. So And also, the FA Cup is becoming more and more devalued, isn't it? Whereas when United did it, the FA Cup was still a massive prize to win. Phelan followed Sancho on Instagram today, says Bloom Monster. There you go. He wouldn't be allowed to do that. Is that true? Don't treat me like a fool. I'm daddy cool. Don't know why that came into my head. Any news, Mark? Says Inside the White Lines. Yep. It's nearly 9 o'clock. Do you want anything else? Don't treat me like a fool, 'cause I'm daddy cool. Daddy cool. Joe Gomez with a little Megs there. He made his Insta account today official on his Twitter, and he follows Sancho. Maybe he's been following him for a while, though. He might not have just started following him now. Where is Sebastian, Mark, says Ninja? In bed. It's late for a little boy. If you had 2 houses, would you have 2 toothbrushes, says Matt Toastland. Yeah. Although, you could just take your toothbrush to the other house when you're going to stay there. Because if you go to a hotel, do you have a hotel toothbrush? No, I take the one from home. So, it depends, really. Depends. Here comes Denmark. Oh, he's done Trent Alexander-Arnold there, and it's a good cross, and Gomez does well. Defensively there, TAA, there's always that feeling about him. You know, definitely world-class going forward, but defensively, probably not world-class, just good. Who would be in your England 11 if you were manager, and what formation would be played, says Tom Carr. I mean, look, my ideal my ideal England team, I'd put Dean Henderson or Nick Pope in goal. I don't really care which one, to be honest, just not Pickford. Trent Alexander-Arnold would be my right back. Luke Shaw would be my left back. Harry Maguire and Joe Gomez would be my centre backs. I would probably put Jordan Henderson as the holding midfielder. Or you could put Declan Rice. I'm not bothered. You know, that it's a holding midfielder at the end of the day. It's not the end of the world. I think Declan Rice is doing a good job, and I think Jordan Henderson can do a good job. I'd then have... I'd probably play... it becomes problematic for England then, because I think this is where we're struggling in that sort of the box-to-box and the attacking midfielder. It's tough. I'll come back to that. Up front, Harry Kane. Off the left, Rashford. Off the right, Sancho. So Sterling's on the bench for me. Don't care if you complain. That's just what I'd do. But the attacking midfield positions, I mean, what you could do is you could play Sterling off the right, Rashford off the left, and put Sancho more central, and play Henderson and Rice if you wanted to. You could play a 4-2-1-3. That could work quite well, actually. You've just solved a problem. Or you do drop Sterling, you put Sancho on the right, you put Rashford on the left, keep Kane in the middle, one holding midfielder, and then you've got 2 midfielders who've got to be box to box, really. I'd like to see Grealish given a chance, of course I would, but I think, you know, you would hope that someone like Dele Alli does find the form that he clearly has, and then maybe I think it's a problem. I think that's the problem area for England. You know, maybe Phil Foden, if he could live up to it, but maybe Jack Grealish, maybe Mason Mount, but I think I would probably, at this moment in time, I'd play Rice and Henderson, put Sancho ahead of them centrally, and put Sterling on the right and Rashford on the left. No, Lingard doesn't make it, unfortunately. It's gone out for a goal kick. 15 minutes gone. Maddison. I mean, look, you're asking me at the moment. Mason Mount's coming on, not Grealish. He doesn't rate Grealish, does he? Sweden red card, switch to Portugal, Watchalong, says awesomeness. I'm flicking between them all a bit, to be honest. England is trash without Lingard, says Daryl Tan. Jared Bowen or Dan James I've seen flopping up there. I rate that Bowen. Lovely ball into Harry Kane. What a save by Schmeichel, and he was offside anyway. Little dink over the top. He took it down well. You think he's going to bury it. He was off. He was off. Sterling with a lovely little ball. Took it down. Should have scored, but he blasted it straight at Kasper Schmeichel. And it's still 0-0. I agree with Stefan. I like Mason Mount, and he's on for Sancho. Bloody hell. I mean, he's a prat, Southgate, isn't he? An absolute prat. I'm going to have to... Just let me tweet this. So I mean, yeah, Mohammed says, what the hell is Southgate doing? I got a little bit excited there because I was like, oh, we're gonna take off, we're gonna bring Mason Mount on for a defender and go 4-3-3. He takes bloody Sancho off for Mason Mount, and we've still got the holding midfielder. He bloody loves Sterling as well. Tell you what though, is it a good or bad thing that Sancho has not played particularly well for England in both these games? Never watch football again, wear a Liverpool kit, says Aaron Maguire, or wear a Liverpool kit every day. Oh God. The abuse I'd get for wearing a Liverpool kit every day, I may as well not watch football again, because I wouldn't, no, I couldn't wear a Liverpool kit every day. I don't want to abuse Southgate or anything like that, but I just don't like how he sets the England team up. It's very negative and it's not very good on the eye. He loves Eric Dyer as well, Dylan. You're right. Terrible ball out by Pickford there. England win it back. Definitely got favourites, says Toby Price. Oh, 100%. Please subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. Watch-alongs at the weekend. Everton, not England, forget England. Everton against Spurs, Sunday, is definitely happening. Arsenal against Fulham, Saturday lunchtime. And potentially Liverpool against Leeds at 5:30. We'll see, because I don't want to commit to too many, because obviously United aren't playing. They could be doing transfer stuff. So if it's looking good for transfers on Saturday, or there's a transfer story bubbling, I won't be able to do 2 watch-alongs. But I'll definitely do Arsenal, Fulham, or Liverpool, Leeds, and then yes, Spurs, Everton on Sunday. So subscribe if you're new. Everybody's welcome on here. It's not club specific. Obviously, I'm a United fan off the United stand, but this channel is just for everyone to get involved in. Max Clark says, awful choice by Southgate. He could have put Sterling on the right and put Jack Grealish on the left. He loves Pickford, says Samuel. I see what you've done there. I'll be talking about the Duncan Castles news around Sancho inside the white lines on the United stand after this in about half an hour. Do you rate Phillips, says Stooney? It's hard to rate Phillips and Declan Rice because it's just 2 holding midfielders. I think they've done a good job, but it's been such a poor performance from England You know, it's been so defensive. Unless you get excited about defensive football, it's hard to get excited about this England performance. It's been awful. I almost hope Denmark score. I say almost. I don't actually want them to score, but we've had a super chat from Jordan. Hello, Jordan. He says that it just shows how banter our runs to the World Cup semis were. Just to beat a load of crap. England haven't gone forwards under Southgate. No, I like Gareth Southgate. I think he's a likeable bloke, but you've got to question the way he sets the team up. It's you know, he picks the team, and this team today has played 5 defenders and 2 centre defensive midfielders. That's bloody shocking. That is shocking. For any club to do that, it's shocking. But for England Football Club to do that, it's just not good enough. Eriksen's got an opportunity for a free kick. It's been awful to watch, says KA. He's not going to shoot from there. He's too far out. And he did. And it was too far out. It went over the box. Peppermint tea. True or false? Is Neymar the 3rd best player in the world after Messi and Cristiano, especially on the base? Yeah, I think he is. I think he's the easiest person to put in as the 3rd best player in the world. I mean, to be fair, you could be saying someone like Van Dijk, but you're never going to say that about a defender, are you? Because people always go with attackers. I think Martial's come off for France. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's still on. Given the lack of creativity, says Callum RB, what has Grealish got to do to get a game time? Seems like Southgate just doesn't like him. Well, he called him up, didn't he? But I know what you mean. Imagine taking Sancho off for Mount. He looked very annoyed at that. Terrible decision. Take someone else off, not Sancho, for God's sake. Was playing well, to be honest, says Archie. I just don't think we got him on the ball at all. You know, he favours Sterling, Southgate, so that's the 2nd game in a row that he's kept Sterling on, when I thought Sterling's been no better than Sancho. England plays like United played against Burnley, says Jenks1102. I mean, to be fair, England have been a little bit more progressive in this second half. I mean, bloody hell, it wasn't... It wasn't difficult to do that, but Denmark haven't been as dangerous as they were in the first half, I'd say that, but it's been very, 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 very disappointing. Leeds have submitted a new bid to sign Josko Gvardiol, 22 million euros. Dynamo Zagreb have asked for 25 million. That's according to Fabrizio Romano. Barcelona have ruled out making a move for Bayern Munich midfielder Thiago this summer. Club sources confirm. And Romano has said that Liverpool are pushing on that deal. I mean, there is a way that leads to Manchester United there if Wijnaldum doesn't go. Tomori's close to a move to Everton on loan, as we were talking about in the first half. Kolarov, I didn't even know he still played. He's now gone from Roma to Inter. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Here's England with the cross. Southgate headed over the bar. Should have scored, really. Wow, he was leaning back a bit. So 20 minutes to go. This second half has gone quite quick, but whilst also being quite crap. Centurions 100 points says, Mark, why are you moaning? Sterling created and scored the last goal for you lot. And Mark, have a beer and get pissed up, says Jay Perryman. Oh, not on a Tuesday night. No, I'm not. I do like a beer every now and again, but I don't want it tonight. I don't feel like having it tonight, if I'm honest with you. Kane is overrated, says Riaz. I think Harry Kane needs service, and there's a corner here for England. Raheem Sterling with the shot. I don't know how he gets a corner off that. It's a very poor shot, but maybe it just bounces in front of Schmeichel. It's difficult to hold on to. So he does the safe thing and puts it out for a corner. Trippier is not good enough for England. I don't think Trippier is good enough for England, Jay. So I wouldn't even have him good enough as a right back, let alone a bloody left back. What's going on? LFC says, I'm calling it again. England are going to win 1-0. Trippier is class. Well, he's not a bloody left back, Jacob, is he? I think that's the point. And he's not better than Trent Alexander-Arnold, so he shouldn't actually be wearing an England shirt. I don't know why Kane is so hyped, but Martial is bantered, says Noah. Because he's not English. Simple as that. But I think Denmark have definitely faded in this second half. Pickford is banter. That was a good peppermint tea, as peppermint tea goes. Martial's playing great, says Aina. Just hit the post again, says Hassan. I'm going to have a look. Oh, shit. Yes, I can. There's probably so much of a delay I might get to see it. Oh no, they've just scored actually. It's 3-2 in that game. It's been a good game. The only concern I have about Anthony Martial is, can he stay fit? If he can stay fit, I think he's a fantastic player. But he normally does pick up injuries. Surprising playing 3 DMs, no creativity. I don't know why he wouldn't pick Grealish instead of Rice as Man United lists. And would Bruno and Martial improve England, says Jenks. Oh, God, 100%. Absolutely 100%. Well, Grealish is coming on now. 15 minutes to go. Bit of a piss poor return for 2 games where we've played shit. That he's not been given more time. But 15 minutes in an England shirt, I suppose, better than nothing. It's Denmark coming forward. Really good tackle by Declan Rice. That really good tackle. But it's Denmark back on the ball. Good player, Delaney, as well, you know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Bellingham at Dortmund, because they've got some really good players in that midfield. Witsel, Delaney, Dawood. There's more. Emre Can, just to name 4. There's that Declan Rice tackle again. Well, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, if he's going to Chelsea as well, the mind gets worried at the quality of player that they're bringing in there, and the volume of players that they're bringing in as well. But England have been slightly better this second half, I would agree. Right, Grealish is coming on. And it's Calvin Davies coming off. So it's weird how England have decided to go a little bit more attacking in the last few minutes of a game that they could have done way before. Very weird. Please subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Next watch-alongs are going to be the Premier League watch-alongs, because the Premier League is back this weekend. Exciting. No Manchester United or Manchester City. They're not back till the weekend after, but Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Everton, Spurs, they're all playing this weekend. So looking good. Apparently they've had a really good goal from Portugal. I don't know whether we're going to get to see it in time. Show us the replay. Here it is. Oh, it's magnificent by Ronaldo again. Oh, it's just, that's sublime. That's absolutely sublime by Ronaldo. Oh, the lift on that. That is superb. To do that with just very little backlift. And it's 2-0 to Portugal in that one. We've seen some good goals tonight. Unfortunately, we haven't seen them in this. Apparently Victor Lindelof has been rested by Sweden today against Portugal due to workload reasons. Maybe he's got a lot of emails to answer, I don't know. Penalty to France. I presume Griezmann will take it. Yellow card to Lovren. And Giroud, I think, has scored it, so. Giroud. Similar question, who would be in your Man United 11? Also, who would you want as manager for the squad, says Tom Carr. Very happy with Ollie at the moment. Do you think Ronaldo can do a gigs and play till he's 40? I still dream of him coming home Henrik Larsson style in his final years. I think Ronaldo can play till he's 40 because how old is he now? And would you take Sancho this summer if you had to loan him back to Dortmund for the season, says Crabsy Malone. Yes, because at least you know you're getting him. I think if we don't get him this summer, we won't get him. I don't know why I'm watching a Giroud penalty that I know's going to go in. Yeah, 4-2. Sterling down the left. Needs some support. Mark, why have we set up so poorly and defensively, says Michael Kirkham? Because that's the Southgate way, I think. It's the Southgate way. It's very, very disappointing, but it is the Southgate way. Jack Grealish had a good run there, which was nice to see. So 10 minutes to go in this game. Thanks for the super chat from Elder Maxon. He says, hi Mark, in your show earlier you sounded disappointed for most of the show. Is this because you're losing faith in the Sancho deal? Elder, there's going to be an update on... In fact, the video is ready to go straight after this. It's on the United stand, so quite significant updates around Reguilon and on Sancho. And oh, Eriksen should have scored. Comes back to him on the penalty box and he volleys it over the box. Over the bar. He should have scored there. He really should have scored there. He really, really should have scored there, but he didn't score there. Lovely little ball. It wasn't a lovely little ball. It bounced to Poulsen, who laid it down. And I mean, Gomez probably does enough to put him off, but he needs to. He doesn't get over the ball anyway. He gets under it, and therefore it goes over the bar. But good chance there for Eriksen. Always makes me think of Sony Eriksen. Probably because they're quite similar. Will we get a late winner like people predicted? It's definitely going to be a sub. Thiago to Chelsea. Well, nothing would surprise me with Thiago, to be honest, with Chelsea, but I don't think Chelsea will go for him. But England have got a corner here. What do we think of Chelsea's transfers? Says Owen. I would not, if I was Manchester United, if Manchester United had done all the transfers that Chelsea have done, I would be stunned and excited. So, you know, I'm not going to be biased here. I don't think all of them are, I think I'd have concerns over one or two of them. I mean, I don't really know much about this goalkeeper they're buying. I don't really know much about Sarr, the young centre-back, but Ziyech, Havertz, Werner, I'd be over the moon with them. Thiago Silva I'd be a little bit concerned about because I'm not, you know, there's a risk there at his age in the Premier League and the intensity of it, but, you know, he's obviously happy to come. And I'm not a big fan of Ben Chilwell defensively, but maybe he can evolve. Who would you want to see as England manager, says Lewis Dunworth? I think England manager is such a difficult job. You know, in fairness to Southgate, it's a difficult job. And do many people want that job? That's the question. How many people actually want the job of England manager? Because you don't get to play that. You know, you're not playing that often. You know, most decent managers want to play and manage, you know, club teams because it's way more hands-on. I think international manager is basically a retirement job, isn't it, for a lot of people? So. Is Eriksen. Slips it out wide. Into the box. Good play by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Clears it away. That's all he can do in that situation. He's done a good job. Well done. Let's look at the live comments. Hey Mark, with the Premier League showing all their games live this month, is the end of the 3 p.m. blackout after the pandemic? Says Ben Russell. They'll bring it back as soon as this fan's in the ground. They're going to bring this TV ban back, 100%. Do you think the AS story re-regal on tonight is legit, and Sancho deal held up to avoid paying him a 1 million bonus would be the most Glazer thing ever? Says Brad Lewis. Another corner here for Denmark with 5 minutes to go. I'm the one doing the United stand, yes. Will Sancho join his Premier League kids? I'm not changing. I'm 90% sure it will happen, yeah. Tried to get Sterling away there. Not going to happen. Anthony Muller, we love Pratt Bridge. Thanks, mate. I don't think it really. I mean, to be honest, it's really it's water off a duck's back. I take it as an affectionate thing when people call me Pratt or Pratt Bridge because it's my thing. Like Pratt is no one ever called anyone a Pratt. I'm the one who brought the word Pratt back into the mainstream. So when people call me a Pratt, it's basically my thing. So I take it as an affectionate thing. How's your day been, says Terhasi? Good. Hope yours has been good. Lots going on. How does England make them boring to watch? Are these players really this overrated? I mean, look, I also think that the way we play is a very big issue for England. You know, there's nothing else really on tonight, so I'm not going to be too, disappointed that I've spent the evening watching England, but disappointed by the way that we've put that team out. As I say, I think it's disappointing. To say the least. You'd expect better than this from an England time. How does England make... Mark, thoughts on QPR? We just sold our best player, Eze, to Palace for 20 million. Watch out for him, he's a baller, says Aditya. I'm looking forward to seeing what... I mean, I'm expecting Zaha to leave Palace. I know there's a lot of Palace fans getting excited, thinking, we're going to have Eze and Zaha. But, I mean, then again, Zaha could be priced out of a move himself. So it is going to be interesting how that works. Do you have a favourite World Cup goal? Mine is Argentina's 60-pass goal against Serbia, says Salim Hamid. I still really like that. If you're talking about a passing move, I grew up with this on VHS. The 1970 Brazil goal. against Italy is excellent. I mean, to be honest with you, the Maradona goal against England, not the cheating goal, was very good, but it was against England, wasn't it? So, yeah. Bergkamp's against Argentina was very good. One of my favourite goals, actually, I saw it the other day on Twitter. I mean, I remember seeing it as a really young kid because I was very young in '88. But the Van Basten goal against Russia, was that in the final as well? I know they won. I know they beat Russia 2-0 in the final. But was it in the final that he scored? I think it was. Van Basten. The angle. It absolutely stuns the goalkeeper. It's one of the best goals I've ever seen, and to do it in a final as well was absolutely magnificent. Really, really was. Corner coming in there. 4 minutes added on. We're going to be live on the United Stand in 9 minutes' time, by the way, with a big update on Sancho and Reguilon, or whatever you call it. Martial's not injured. He's running around absolutely fine. Pratt. Let me find out who you are. Can we not swap Lingard, Pereira and Jones for Grealish, says Salah Ahmed? I don't think that's stupid. Pavard's goal was very good. Yeah, it was very good, to be fair. What a boring game, says Keimano. And who would have won the Ballon d'Or in your opinion? It probably would have been Messi or Ronaldo, wouldn't it? But realistically, I think it should have been Lewandowski. But, we'll never know now. And I think Lewandowski was a lot of people's choices, but he probably wouldn't have won it, would he? Let's be honest. Why are you going live at 9:40? Significant updates on Jadon Sancho, really, and Reguilon. And I hope that what we're going to see is what I've said, that this week's going to be a really important week for United. So let's see what's going to happen. But you're all welcome to join me on the United Stand after this. Just type in United Stand. The live comments are already open. I'm not going to piss about. We're going to get straight on with it. Cross coming in there. Denmark head it over for a goal kick. A lot of people have been saying, let's get Danny Ings on. Southgate out. Very forgettable performance by England. I would say that. Very, very forgettable. And a clearance there. Oh, that was nearly a goal. Zanka cleared it for a corner from Raheem Sterling. It's all going on in the last few minutes. We won it late against Ireland. Could we do it again? Do you think Danny Ings should have come on, everybody? 30 seconds to go here. Southgate out across the live comments. Haven't seen that since my FIFA career mode. Change Southgate for Goldbridge. I think that's going to be it. Trippier's offside here. Kane's injuries have done him in, says Vengi. I mean, to be honest, whether you want Danny Ings on or not, I think for me, the reality is that the way that England have set up today makes it very difficult for any player to do particularly well, I feel. But that's just my 2 pennies worth for what it is worth. Anyway, look, we're going straight over onto the United stand. You can join me there. The link is not in the video description, but you can just type United stand in. Significant updates around Jadon Sancho and on Sergio Reguilon, especially in the last sort of few minutes really around him. So pop over to that. We'll give you a quick update on the United stand. I'll see you there in a minute.